Every few months, someone releases a video about the algorithm, how it changed, how it's suppressing small creators, how YouTube updated something in the recommendation engine, and now everything is different, and here are the 7 things you need to do to adapt. And those videos get views because creators are desperate for an explanation. They are desperate for something to blame. And the algorithm is a perfect villain. It is invisible, it is powerful, and it is controlled by a corporation that doesn't explain itself, and blaming it doesn't require you to change anything fundamental about what you're doing. I'm going to tell you something that most YouTube advice channels will not tell you, because it's not a comfortable thing to hear and it doesn't generate the kind of hope that gets people to subscribe at the end of the video. The algorithm is not your problem. The algorithm is infrastructure. It's a very sophisticated vending machine that measures what people click on and how long they watch and how much they engage. And then it serves more of that. There is no mysterious force suppressing your content because you didn't post at the right time on a Tuesday. There is viewer behavior, and viewer behavior is the actual thing driving everything you think that the algorithm is doing. Let's start at the beginning. YouTube is not a platform for creative expression. YouTube is not a community. YouTube is not your friend. YouTube is a business, specifically an advertising business. It sells attention to advertisers. Your job as a creator of the platform is to generate the attention that YouTube then sells. You are not a customer, you are a supplier. Understanding this will change every decision that you make. When YouTube promotes a video, it is not making an aesthetic judgment, it is making a business decision. It is promoting the content that keeps people on the platform longest because more time on the platform means more ads served, means more revenue. Your content gets promoted when it serves that business interest. It gets buried when it doesn't. There is no fairness, there is just, does this content make YouTube money? I'm not being cynical. YouTube is a business, and this is how businesses work. And the creators who understand this make better decisions than the ones who don't because they stop asking, what does YouTube want from me creatively? And start asking, how do I make YouTube money while doing what I want to do? Those are different questions. The second one has better answers. YouTube is distribution. It will distribute your content exactly as long as distributing your content serves its interest. The moment it doesn't, it won't. Build accordingly. Treat it like a business relationship because that is simply what it is. The algorithm is not mysterious. I want to say that again because the creator space has spent a decade mystifying something that is genuinely not that complicated. The algorithm measures 3 things. Click-through rate. Did people click on your video when it appeared in their feed? Watch time. How long did they watch once they clicked? Engagement. Did they like, comment, or share? That is it. Everything else, the tags, the description, the thumbnail A-B testing, posting time optimization, all of that is attempting to influence those 3 numbers. Some of it works marginally. None of it is more important than the 3 numbers themselves. The algorithm is a sales funnel. At the top of the funnel, your thumbnail and title generate the click. In the middle of the funnel, your content generates the watch time. And at the bottom of your funnel, your content will generate engagement. The funnel either works or it doesn't. And if the funnel doesn't work, the problem is almost never a technical optimization issue. The problem is one of the 3 stages of the thumbnail. People aren't clicking. Well, thumbnail and title. People are clicking but leaving early. Well, that's a problem with the opening. People are watching but not engaging. Well, then that's just a content problem. Diagnose which stage is broken, you fix it, and the algorithm will respond. Because you made YouTube more money. It's as simple as that. Here's what nobody in the algorithm discourse wants to say. You will take 2 videos, same topic, same script, same production quality, same length, same thumbnail quality. One of them is from a channel with 500,000 subscribers. One of them is from a channel with 1,000 subscribers. The 500,000 subscriber video wins every time. And I want to be very precise about something. The algorithm did not make that decision. The viewer made that decision in approximately 2 seconds, based on a number displayed under the channel name. The viewer looked at the subscriber count and made an unconscious quality judgment. 5,000 5,000 people subscribe to this channel, it must be worth watching. 1,000 people subscribe to this channel, maybe I'll check the other one first. That judgment happened before the thumbnail was fully processed, or before the title was read, or before the video was clicked. The algorithm then measured the click-through rate differential between these two videos and concluded that the viewers prefer the larger channel's content. Which is true. They prefer it because they perceive it as pre-validated by a large number of other people. The content is secondary to the social proof. People optimize their thumbnails and their posting schedules and their tags, while the actual competitive variable, social credibility, is something that takes years to build and cannot be hacked. You cannot thumbnail your way out of a subscriber count disadvantage in a head-to-head comparison. You can only build the subscriber count until the disadvantage disappears. There is no shortcut, there is only time and output. The video has not played yet, and the decision has already been made. I like to call it the great value paradox. Everybody knows that great value items are made from the same factories as the name brand items, but people still buy the name brand items because their branding is better. By the time a viewer clicks on your video, they have already made the most important judgment they will make about your content. They looked at a 1280 by 720 pixel image and approximately 12 words of text and decided, yes, I will give this person my time, or no, I won't. Everything inside of the video, the research, the argument, the production, the editing, the music, the script, is irrelevant to that decision. It hasn't been accessed yet. The decision was made on packaging. This means the best video with a bad thumbnail loses to a bad video with a good one. Consistently, because the bad video with the good thumbnail gets the click and has the opportunity to disappoint. The good video simply never has the opportunity because nobody ever clicks on it. You are deciding a decision of sorts. Those different tasks require different skills. A thumbnail is a graphic design problem. A decision is a psychology problem. You need to understand what feeling the image triggers in under 2 seconds and whether that feeling makes the viewer want to click. The title is the confirmation signal. The thumbnail triggers the feeling. The title tells the viewer that their feeling is correct and clicking is the right response. Most creators spend 90% of their time on content and 10% of the time on packaging. The optimal ratio is closer to the reverse. Not because the content doesn't matter, but because the content only gets to matter if the packaging gets the click first. The work begins before the work begins. There it is. Here is a framing shift. There it is. You are not competing for views, you are competing for hours. Specifically, a share of the approximately 5 hours of leisure time that the average person in a developed market has per day. That is the resource. That is the ceiling. You cannot grow the total amounts of human leisure time available. You can only compete for a share of what already exists. YouTube is a zero-sum attention market. Every hour someone spends watching your video is an hour they are not spending watching a competitor's video. Every subscriber you gain is a viewer whose limited leisure hours are now partially allocated to you. You are not adding to the pile, you are just taking slices from a fixed pie. Your competition is not just other YouTubers, it is Netflix, it is TikTok, it is video games, it is sleep, it may even be spanking the bank. You are competing on every other claim on human leisure time that exists. YouTube is the arena, and the fight is for hours. The question is not, how do I get more views? The question is, why would someone give me an hour of their irreplaceable leisure time instead of giving it to the 1,000 other things that compete for the same hour? That is a harder question. It's also the correct one. Outrage and conflict outperform nuance consistently across every major content category on the platform. Thumbnails featuring distressed or angry facial expressions outperform neutral ones. Titles framing content as conflict, destroyed, exposed, collapsed, the truth about, Why X is wrong. Outperform titles framing content as inquiry. Videos structured around an antagonist outperform videos structured around a question. This is not YouTube's fault. This is not the algorithm's fault. Every click on an outrage video was a vote. The viewer chose to watch the thing that triggered a strong negative emotional response over the thing that promised nuanced examination. They did that. The algorithm measured the click. The algorithm promoted more content that generates clicks. The creator then made more content that generates clicks. The algorithm found the demand and the negativity in the data and built a promotion engine that responds to it. The demand was yours first. I'm not telling you this to say you should make outrage content. I'm telling you this so that you understand why the platform looks the way it does. And so you understand that when you ask why doesn't thoughtful analytical content perform better, the honest answer is because the audience, in aggregates, clicks on outrage more than thoughtfulness. Not every audience member, but enough of them to move the algorithm. You can choose to make thoughtful content anyway, but you should make that choice with clear eyes about what the data says. This is not an insult. It's an economic specification. Your viewer is scrolling. They are not reading, they are scanning. They are making continuous rapid decisions about whether to stop scrolling based on visual and textual signals they process in approximately 2 seconds per item. They are not applying critical analysis or reading your description or not reading your title carefully. They are reacting to a visual stimuli in a headline and making a gut call. Designed for that person, not for the person who will give you their full attention once they've clicked. You need to click first. And getting the click requires communicating your entire value proposition to someone who is not paying careful attention, who is deciding in under 2 seconds, and will not give you a second chance if the first impression is confusing or unclear. What this means practically is that your thumbnail should communicate its point if someone looks at it while running. Your title should make sense to someone reading it while also thinking about something else. Clarity beats cleverness every single time. A clever thumbnail that requires a second look to understand has already failed because the viewer didn't give it a second look. Your content can be as sophisticated as you want once the viewer has clicked, but the invitation to click has to be immediate, clear, and emotionally legible. The viewer is not stupid in the sense of lacking intelligence. The viewer is stupid in the sense of not paying you any attention until you've earned it. Your viewer is not looking for you. Nobody opens YouTube thinking about you. When somebody opens YouTube, when you open YouTube, on their phone before bed or on their laptop between meetings, on their TV after dinner, they are not thinking about you. You're not thinking about a specific creator. They are in a state. They are tired or curious or bored or anxious, or they want to laugh. Maybe they want to cry. They want to feel validated, etc., etc., etc. They are looking for content that meets them in that state. They are looking for something that says, I understand what you are feeling right now, and I have something that addresses it. The creators who win are the ones who understand what state their audience arrives in and build content specifically for that state. Not content they want to make, content the audience is already looking for. Content that appears in the feed at the right moment and says, yes, this is for you right now in whatever you're feeling. You are not the product, you are the mirror. The viewer wants to see themselves reflected back at them in a form that is interesting and validating and worth 12 to 30 minutes of their evening. The channels that feel like they are speaking directly to you are not doing that by accident. They have identified the specific state their audience arrives in, and they are engineering every element of their content to meet that state precisely. Stop making content you want to make. Start making content that people are already looking for. The click happens in under 2 seconds. The decision about if a viewer clicks your video is not rational. It is an emotional and instinctive one. The thumbnail triggers a feeling. The title confirms or contradicts it. The brain makes the call before the rational mind has finished processing the information. This is not a metaphor. This is just neuroscience. The limbic system, the emotional processing center of the brain, responds to visual stimuli faster than the prefrontal cortex can evaluate them. The viewer feels something about your thumbnail before they think anything about it, and that feeling determines the click. You're not marketing to someone's intellect, you are marketing to their nervous system. And the nervous system does not respond to logical arguments. It responds to visual signals, emotional triggers, pattern recognition, faces, color contrast, tension, and resolution, to the specific shape of a question that implies that there is an answer worth knowing. Everything we've talked about in this video all runs through this mechanism. The viewer decides before they think, which means your job is not to make the most intellectually compelling argument for why someone should watch your video. Your job is to make them feel, in 2 seconds or less, that not clicking would be a mistake. Design accordingly. So guys, let's go back to the algorithm. The algorithm is a very large and very sophisticated measurement system that tracks what people click, how long they watch, and how much they engage. And it serves more of whatever generated those signals. That is the complete description of what the algorithm does. It does not have bias against small creators. It does not have taste. It does not have a preference for one type of content over another. Sensors are pointed at viewer behavior. Fix the viewer problem and the algorithm follows. Winning begets winning. That is the Matthew effect. If you have momentum, I can say this for myself, you will just start getting more views. So, yeah. Every algorithm optimization video ever made has an expiration date stamped on it the moment it is published. Start understanding why viewers behave the way they do. That insight does not expire. Human psychology has not been updated since the last major algorithm change. It will not be updated before the next one. So guys, build for the reality of your viewer. If you made it to the end of the video, like, comment, subscribe, and comment a Chinese character, a Korean character, and then a second Chinese character in order. See you guys.